very sad news today from Austin, Texas, where we learned of the passing of Don Baylor. Best known in baseball as the American League MVP in 1979 with the Angels and part of the Twins World Series championship team in 1987. Baylor, a gifted athlete, later manager for Colorado and the Cubs, National League Manager of the Year of the Rockies, that delivered their first postseason berth. Baylor went on to work as a hitting coach, passing on his skills to so many young hitters. Don provided a boost for the Twins in '87, some solid contributions in a postseason run. He hit .389 in postseason play, .385 in the World Series itself, scoring 3 runs, knocking in 3 more in that 7-game series with the Cardinal. The man made friends everywhere that he went.
Well, he had great presence, but he had great leadership qualities. And, you know, he was a guy, I feel, that everybody knew he liked them, so he could say what he felt and they didn't take it personal. And to me, that's a really true leader. I think we seen that in Torrey a couple of years ago here. He could really express himself, and guys would take it to heart because they knew that he really liked them. He cared about them, but he also cared about the game, and he wanted to win.
Obviously a tremendous player. I remember his MVP season, I think back in '79, but just a guy who had a positive influence wherever he went on people around him. I know he impacted the Twins clubhouse when he was traded over here and was part of a World Series team. Just a big loss for the game. A guy who commanded respect and gave respect, and he'll be missed.
Tim Laudner, Roy Smalley were teammates of Don Baylor's here in 1987, and they join us now to reflect a little bit on what this loss means to them. Roy, I know you were teammates with Don with the Yankees as well. This is a tough day.
It's a really tough day, guys, and you know, when you do this job, you prepare for the things that you know you want to talk about, and I got to tell you, there just wasn't any preparation for this little bit that we're doing right now. I thought of so many things. A little background. We first became friends. I played against Donnie for 4 years, and then in 1979 we went to Japan together with our wives, and to Japan in the 1979 All-Star Tour. And we became, the 4 of us became good friends over there in Japan. Then, we, as you say, Tommy, we got to be teammates in New York, where, you know, that friendship really blossomed. And then, of course, when we got back together in '87, won the World Series together, it was icing on the cake. We've been great friends since 1979, and it's a huge loss for the game. It's a huge loss for so many of the players and friends that Donnie touched, and it's a big loss for us as well. You know, a guy, he's almost larger than life, and as a teammate and as a friend and as a man, and you just don't replace those kind of guys. There's always that little space in your heart that's not going to get filled in, Timmy.
You know what, Roy? I didn't get an opportunity to spend as much time with Don as you did or as Gene Glynn did. But maybe that short month that he was with us, 8 weeks, during our 1987 World Championships, you could come to the conclusion very, very quickly that he was a man's man. He was a tough competitor. He was a kind-hearted gentleman off the field, and he was the guy that you wanted to be around. He was a guy that had an aura, much like Kirby, but a different kind of an aura like Kirby. And so the passing of Don Baylor is extremely sad to all of us. It was I know that I got an opportunity to talk with Gene Glynn earlier, and he talked about the fact that Don very much wanted to be here during our 1987 reunion celebration, and we really missed him. And now to hear of his passing today is really sad. The baseball has a tendency of kind of opening their arms to each other long after the competitions are done, and I know that there are a lot of people around the league and around baseball that are opening their arms to Don Baylor. We're going to miss him.
Focus was on Don Baylor's big bat, but it was his large heart that continues to touch people around the game today. Don Baylor, a feared slugger for 19 seasons, made his short time in Minnesota count, helping the Twins capture the '87 World Series. Baylor died this morning after a long struggle with multiple melanoma. He was 68 years old.